My wife only married me to get closer to my brother. I gave her everything, and all she wanted was for me to disappear so my brother, Ethan, could take over my life and consolidate the family fortune. On our 5th anniversary, she tricked me into going on an adventure trip to a remote island in the Puget Sound to celebrate. When extreme weather hit, she pretended to be angry with me after an argument and took off in the only boat we had. I was stranded, bitten by venomous insects. I was eventually swept into the sea. When I was rescued, I was barely alive, but even seeing me in that state, Anna was still plotting to make me disappear a month later. This time, I didn't fight back. I decided to give them what they wanted, to vanish from her life completely. When the rescue team found me, I was unrecognizable. My skin was bloated and unnaturally pale from the salt water, giving me the ghastly look of a corpse. My thighs were covered in a dense pattern of festering wounds from the bites of tropical insects. In my delirium at the hospital, I thought I heard Anna's voice. I wanted to ask her why she would do this to me, but I couldn't open my eyes or make a sound. Through the haze, I heard her talking to someone. Who knew he'd be so lucky to get rescued, she said. I was hoping he'd be stuck on that island for a month or two. Since that didn't work, we'll have to wait a month and try again. Doing it now would look too suspicious. We can arrange a car accident or a kidnapping gone wrong. No one will ever suspect a thing. The person she was talking to was my brother, Ethan. Isn't that too risky? He asked. Killing someone means jail time. Anna's voice was firm. I don't want to kill him. I just need him to disappear for a while, maybe in a coma. That way, you can logically take control of his assets and his seat on the board. I just want to be with you openly, Ethan, even if it's just for a little while. As for Noah, I'll get my act together later and be a good wife to him. A wave of intense dizziness washed over me, bringing with it an overwhelming sense of despair. I had been married to Anna for 5 years. I knew she didn't love me, so I spent those 5 years doing everything in my power to win her heart. When she suggested a trip for our 5th anniversary, I thought I had finally broken through, that she was ready to build a real life with me. When she proposed exploring a deserted island, I was hesitant, but my judgment was clouded by happiness, and I agreed. It was all just a part of her plan to be with my brother. I didn't want to cry over a woman like her anymore, but every organ in my body ached as if it were being torn apart. When I woke up, Anna was at my bedside, crying. Noah, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have stormed off like that. I regretted it the second I left in the boat. I tried to come back for you, but I got caught in the storm too and was thrown into the sea. It's all my fault. You must have been in so much pain. Her eyes were bloodshot, her performance utterly convincing. I numbly pushed her away. I'm Fine. It's not your fault. She said she would find a way to make me disappear in a month. Fine. I would grant her wish. A month was enough time for me to transfer my assets and get away from them for good. Anna's show of concern lasted only a few minutes before her true motive surfaced. She looked at me, hesitating. Noah, honey, Ethan's division is having some cash flow problems. Could you let him have the Apex project? I let out a sarcastic laugh. I just survived a near-death experience, and that's the first thing you want to talk to me about? That project is important to me, too. I'm not giving it up. Anna's face turned ugly. Noah, there are no wild animals on that island. You're just playing this up to make me feel guilty, aren't you? I already apologized. What more do you want? Ethan is your brother. Are you really not going to help him with one small thing? I rolled up my pant leg, revealing the leg that had been chewed to shreds by insects. There might not have been any large predators on the island, I said, but there were tens of thousands of highly venomous insects. Anna frowned impatiently. Don't be so useless. You're a grown man who can't even handle a few bugs. Her words sent a chill down my spine. How do you know there were only a few bugs? Suppressing her irritation, Anna softened her tone. Honey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. It's just that Ethan has always been so good to us. If you don't help him when he's in trouble, people will talk. But if you don't want to, that's fine. Forget I said anything. Her sudden concession caught me off guard. I didn't expect that just a few days later, the head of the Apex project would show up at the hospital to cancel our contract. Mr. Carter, you should probably check the news online, he said grimly. We can't risk partnering with a company accused of fraud. I was stunned. My old phone was at the bottom of the Puget Sound. I had someone buy me a new one immediately. The moment I logged into my accounts, I was flooded with a stream of messages from my assistant. My company's products were being exposed for fraud, for using substandard materials. Someone even claimed that one of our food products had caused a fatal food poisoning incident in the past, which I had supposedly covered up with money. The story had gone viral, spreading like wildfire across the internet. Partners were pulling out one after another. The online backlash was relentless, escalating to personal attacks. He has no conscience. Scumbags like this should be locked up. Greedy, black-hearted trash. Why don't you just die? My DMs were filled with death threats. My head spun. Forgetting my own recovery, I stumbled out of the hospital and took a cab to the office. But the door to my office was locked from the inside. I could hear sound from within, the unmistakable, heated moans of passion. "You did an amazing job, baby," a voice said. "You really saved me this time." Then, my wife's breathless voice. "I just had a few conversations with his partners. I can't believe they actually took my word for it." Ethan's laugh was slick with smugness. If anyone else had spread those rumors, they might not have believed it. But coming from his own wife, who wouldn't believe you? Doing this in his office while he's gone. It's exciting, isn't it? "God, you're beautiful, Anna. I want you so much." Their voices, punctuated by gasps and moans, trailed off. Then, I heard Anna's confession. "I love you too, Ethan. I love you more than anything. I'd do anything for you." I stood frozen outside the door, feeling as if I'd been plunged into an icy abyss. The torrent of slander flooding the internet had been unleashed by my own wife. A sharp, blinding pain shot through me. I remembered when Anna accepted my ring. She had looked me in the eye and promised she would try her best to fall in love with me. I believed her for 5 years. I felt like the world's biggest fool. I returned to the hospital in a daze, only to be cornered at the entrance by an angry mob of concerned citizens. "That's him. That's the scumbag CEO." Surrounded, I tried to remain calm. "Everyone, please calm down. I will clear up everything you've seen online. If I've truly done something wrong, please trust the justice system." But no one was listening. Someone threw a full water bottle, hitting me square in the head. My vision blurred, and I smelled blood. With one person leading the charge, the crowd started pelting me with anything they could find. Eggs, garbage. "You piece of trash, go to hell. Getting rich off of people's lives. You'll get what's coming to you. We're serving justice today." My body, still weak from the ordeal, gave out. I was pushed to the ground as fists and feet rained down on me. I was about to lose consciousness, my pleas lost in the chaos. I didn't do those things. I'll prove it. But the blows kept coming. I curled up on the pavement like a stray dog. Finally, security guards saw the commotion, called the police, and dispersed the crowd. But the scene had already been filmed by reporters, and the online consensus was that the mob had done the right thing. I lay curled up on my hospital bed, the tears finally coming. What a pathetic excuse for a man I was, letting myself be destroyed by the love I had for one woman. I picked up my phone and sent a message to my most trusted assistant. "Forget the online PR battle. Accelerate the plan to drive down the stock price and initiate the buyout. I just want to get out of here as fast as possible. I never want to see Anna again." My brother, Anna, and I grew up together. I was in love with Anna, but she always loved Ethan. But Ethan ended up marrying a woman who could offer him more career-wise. Heartbroken, Anna came to me. "Noah, you like me, right? Do you want to give us a try?" At the time, I felt like I had won the lottery. But it turned out she was only ever doing it for Ethan. Anna came to the hospital that evening. Seeing the bruises on my face, she frowned. "Honey, I don't know who's spreading these rumors about you. I believe in you. You would never do anything to hurt people. I'll help you find out who's behind this." The sincerity on her face was so perfect that if I hadn't overheard their conversation, I might have believed her. I stared directly at her. "Anna, are you sure you don't know who started the rumors?" She gave a nervous laugh. "How would I know? Don't think about it too much right now. The most important thing is to get better." Perhaps out of guilt, Anna did take care of me attentively for a while. But all I felt was numbness. That numbness was shattered at a family dinner. My sister-in-law, Sophia, was pregnant. Ethan was doting on her, the perfect husband, not at all like a man having an affair. Anna's face was twisted with jealousy. A faint, sharp pain pricked my heart. After the excruciating dinner, I was standing with Sophia on the second-floor landing, waiting for the others. Her concern for me was genuine, and I debated telling her the truth, worried the shock would be too much for her in her condition. That's when it happened. A commotion broke out in the restaurant below. A group of people started fighting, their brawl spilling towards the staircase. Sophia couldn't get out of the way in time. She was knocked over and tumbled down the stairs. Blood spread out from under her. I was horrified and screamed for Ethan. At the hospital, Sophia lost the baby. Listening to her heartbroken sobs, I felt terrible for her. But then Anna tugged on my sleeve. "Noah," she said, her voice loud enough for everyone in the room to hear, "I know you're upset that a lot of your clients have gone over to Ethan lately, but you can't just push Sophia. She was pregnant." I looked at Anna in disbelief. "What are you talking about? I didn't push her." Anna wiped her eyes. "Noah, I can't watch you make a bigger mistake. It's one thing to be angry, but Sophia's baby was innocent." Ethan shot up from his chair and punched me hard across the face. "Noah, I'm your brother. She's your sister-in-law. How could you do something so monstrous?" I was about to hit him back when my father stopped me. He looked at Anna. "Anna, did you really see Noah push her?" Anna nodded without hesitation. A hollow despair filled me. "Anna, for all these years, I have loved you so much. What have I ever done to you to deserve this?" Anna's gaze flickered for a second. "Noah, we're married. I can't just stand by and watch you do the wrong thing." My father sighed. "Noah, for what you've done, you will transfer your shares in the company to your brother. Consider it your atonement." Ethan's eyes lit up. In that instant, I understood. This was the ultimate goal of their entire charade. I laughed until tears streamed down my face. I didn't do anything. Why should I have to atone? I shook off my father's hand and landed punch after punch on Ethan's face. From this day on, I don't have a brother. I sat looking at Anna, too, but things weren't going to end that easily. Humiliated and enraged, Ethan threatened to sue me, to make me pay. He hired a lawyer and filed a case. When I received the court summons, Anna paced anxiously. "Noah, don't be so stubborn. What are a few shares compared to go to jail? Besides, you were in the wrong here. You've changed so much." I let out a short, sharp laugh. "Anna, did you really see me push her?" She looked flustered but still raised her voice. "I saw it. Noah, you're disappointing me so much right now. I'm doing this for your own good. If you insist on taking this to court, I'll have to testify as a witness, and I won't side with family over the truth." I closed my eyes, unable to comprehend how the person I once loved had become so unrecognizable. Ethan confronted me as well. When we were alone, his mockery was unrestrained. "Little brother, you always beat me in school, then you beat me in business. But look at you now. So pathetic. Your own wife has agreed to testify against me. My terms have changed. I don't just want your shares. I want your little startup company, too. If you don't agree, I'll see you in court." He caught me off guard, grabbing my collar and slamming me against the wall. My head spun. "In your dreams, you bastard." But just as I raised my fist to retaliate, a thermos slammed into my back. Scalding liquid seared my skin, and a piercing pain shot through me. "Noah, what do you think you're doing?" Ethan feigned innocence, pushing me away. "Anna, try to talk some sense into him." I just came to talk, and he just started swinging at me. Anna ignored my burned back and arms, rushing to check if Ethan was hurt. "Noah, are you crazy? If you keep acting like this, I will testify against you. You can rot in jail." The physical and emotional pain was so intense I could barely breathe. Just then my phone buzzed. A message from my assistant. "Mr. Carter, the stock has been devalued. The acquisition is complete. We've moved everything offshore. It's secure. No one will find it." I closed my eyes to hold back the tears. "Ethan, you wanted my things, right? They're all yours. I don't want them anymore." Including Anna. Ethan left, triumphant. Anna, however, stood frozen. A flicker of unease crossed her face. She couldn't understand why I had suddenly given in so easily, what I don't want them anymore really meant. But she didn't have time to dwell on it. Ethan dropped the lawsuit. Sophia was furious. To appease her, Ethan transformed into the perfect, doting husband. Anna, stuck at home, could barely contain her jealousy. In a complete change of character, she asked me out to a restaurant in the countryside. The anniversary trip was a disaster, honey. I want to make it up to you, help you relax after everything. I knew she was getting impatient. I managed a bitter smile. Anna, if one day you look back on this, will you have any regrets? She paused and smiled. Noah, what are you talking about? That place is impossible to get a reservation for. You have to be there on time tomorrow. My smile felt more like a grimace, but I agreed to go. The next day, I went. As expected, she made an excuse and never showed up. When a group of thugs emerged from the shadows, any lingering fantasy I had about her was finally shattered. My assistant, leading a team I had waiting in ambush, easily subdued the men Anna had hired. All my arrangements for leaving were ready. I looked at the men tied up on the ground, then tossed a set of divorce papers to one of them. Give this to her, and tell Anna I wish her a life with no regrets. Anna waited, but no one called her back. She started to panic, worried the men she hired had actually hurt me. She was conflicted. Now that her years-long obsession was fulfilled, she felt a strange emptiness. She thought about how good I had been to her over the years. I was a good husband. Maybe after her dream came true, settling down with me wouldn't be so bad. She was about to call the men when their leader came running to her, battered and bruised. It's bad, Ms. Miller. It was a setup. They knew about our plan and had people waiting. Noah Carter told me to give you this. When Anna saw the divorce papers, already signed by me, the color drained from her face. Her hand holding the document trembled. Just then, Ethan arrived, furious. He waited until the hired thug was gone before exploding. He threw a financial report in her face. You idiot. Noah's shares were intentionally tanked and bought out by a shell corp. His company is worthless now. Did you two conspire to screw me over? I was actually thinking that after this was all over, I would tell my father I wanted to take responsibility for you, to repay your love. You have disappointed me so much. Anna had no color left in her face, shaking like a leaf. She wasn't even thinking about Ethan's disappointment. She stared at the bold signature, Noah Carter, on the divorce papers, a knot of fear tightening in her stomach. He had been so prepared. Did he know what she and Ethan were planning all along? She thought, he loves me so much, how could he leave me? He must just be angry. She pulled out her phone and started calling me frantically, only to find the number was disconnected. She then sent a flurry of texts. Noah, answer me. I can explain. But every message was met with a red exclamation mark. She could barely hold her phone. She wanted to run out and find me, but Ethan stopped her. He was furious. His plan was for this stupid woman to either get rid of me for good or make me disappear for a few months, long enough for him to take everything. Now the plan had failed, Noah was gone, and they were at risk of being exposed. Stay away from me from now on, he snarled. If this gets out, you'll be humiliated and you'll drag me down with you. Anna looked as if she'd been struck by lightning, staring at Ethan in disbelief. But you said you had feelings for me, that you only married her because of family pressure. You said you loved me. Ethan dropped all pretense of affection, his face twisting into a sneer. If it weren't for what Noah has, who would want you? Look at yourself. I snap my fingers and you come running like a pathetic dog. If you dare say a word about us, now that Noah's not here to protect you, you'll see what I do to you. Ethan slammed the door on his way out. Devastated, Anna collapsed to the floor. She took out her phone and sent a voice recording to Ethan's wife, Sophia. Then, she buried her face in her hands and sobbed. She remembered the way I used to look at her, my eyes filled with nothing but love. No matter where we were, I only had eyes for her. That was real love. How had she been so deluded to think Ethan felt the same? Anna wasn't a complete fool. The recording she sent Sophia was of her and Ethan plotting to cause the miscarriage and frame me for it. Sophia, still reeling from the loss of her child, was shattered by the truth. She attacked Ethan at home, beating him bloody. Coming from a powerful family herself, She called her father and had him sever all business ties with Ethan, a move that crippled his company. Ethan begged, even got on his knees. Sophia, it was Anna. She manipulated me. It was her idea. She's shameless, throwing herself at her husband's brother. I was just led astray. But Sophia was a sharp woman. No amount of pleading would change her mind. She was determined to divorce him. The Carter family was in chaos. Anna locked herself in her room, crying until she was exhausted. Then, as if remembering something, she bolted out of the house. But once outside, she realized she had no idea where to find me. In 5 years of marriage, she had never cared about me. She didn't know where I liked to go, who my friends were. Meanwhile, I knew her so well. I even kept track of her menstrual cycle, making sure to have everything ready beforehand to ease her pain. Would anyone else in the world ever love her that much? She couldn't understand how the man who loved her so deeply could bear to divorce her. Standing on a busy street, she broke down and cried like a lost child. Anna clutched the divorce papers, refusing to sign. She stubbornly believed that as long as she didn't sign, we were still married. She thought that if she just apologized and acted sweet, the man who loved her so much would surely take her back. The lawyer I had retained tried 3 times to get the signed papers from her, without success. Finally, his patience ran out. My lawyer showed up at her house with several large men. Ms. Miller, due to your lack of cooperation, we have no choice but to resort to other measures. Anna shook her head frantically. I won't sign. I'm not signing. I don't want a divorce. The lawyer calmly gestured to his men. 2 of them grabbed Anna. Since Ms. Miller refuses to cooperate, we'll have to be a bit more persuasive. Mr. Carter's instructions were to get the signed papers, and that a little force, if necessary, was acceptable. Anna couldn't believe what she was hearing. She struggled desperately. I don't believe you. Noah loves me. He would never let you hurt me. If you touch me, he'll make you pay. The lawyer shook his head with a sigh. It seems Ms. Miller only responds to force. At his signal, one of the men kicked her hard behind the knee. The pain drained the color from Anna's face. She screamed, but still refused to sign. No divorce. I'm going to find him. Then, the other leg was kicked out from under her. She collapsed to the floor, unable to stand. It took a great deal of effort, but the lawyer finally got the signed divorce papers. If you had just cooperated from the start, Ms. Miller, you could have avoided all this pain. Anna was in too much pain to speak, tears of despair streaming down her face. As the lawyer was leaving, he ran into Ethan, who was coming to see Anna. Ethan was a mess, gaunt and haggard after just a few days. He looked at Anna crumpled on the floor, then lunged at her, his hands closing around her neck. I warned you not to cause any more trouble. Look what you've done to me. I'm not going to let you get away with this. Ethan's face was contorted with rage, his grip tightening. Anna clawed at his hands, but it was useless. Her face turned a dark purple. Just as she was about to black out, her hand found the sharp heel of her shoe. I had moved most of my business operations to New York. Starting over in a new city was challenging, but I was fortunate to find an excellent business partner, Chloe Kim. She was a Korean American with a long list of successful ventures, a true powerhouse. Most nights, the last people to leave the office were either me or her. My lawyer sent me the signed divorce papers. I let out a sigh of relief. He told me how he had gotten Anna to sign. I'm sorry, Mr. Carter. She wouldn't cooperate, so I had to use some force. If you want to blame me, I'll accept it. After a moment of silence, I shook my head. It's fine, as long as we have the papers. I was a little surprised it had come to that. I thought she would be happy to be free of me. After all, she only ever had eyes for Ethan. But then again, maybe she was afraid that once we were divorced, she would lose any chance of seeing him. Such devotion. News from Seattle trickled in. I heard that Anna had attacked Ethan, leaving him with a serious head injury. He was still in the hospital, unconscious. Ethan and Sophia were officially divorced, and Sophia's family was systematically dismantling Ethan's company. To avoid further scandal, my father had kicked Anna out of the house and disowned her. My father tried to contact me several times, but it never revealed my whereabouts. The explosive mess back home was partly my fault, and I didn't know how to face him. I threw myself into my work, slowly establishing my company in New York and pushing thoughts of Anna to the back of my mind. I never expected to see her in New York. One night, Chloe and I were working late. I offered to give her a ride home for safety, but as we left the building, Anna blocked our path. She was gaunt, a shadow of her former self, looking like she was nothing but skin and bones. Her eyes, red and wild, glared at me, then at Chloe. "Noah Carter," she shrieked. "Is this why you never came back for me? Because you fell in love with this woman?" Her hysterical screaming made it clear she was unstable. I instinctively stepped in front of Chloe. "Chloe and I are just colleagues. The reason I didn't come back for you is because of what you did. You know exactly what you did. I gave you what you wanted, a chance to be with my dear brother. Aren't you happy?" She burst into tears, sobbing uncontrollably. "No, I was wrong. I sold the house, the jewelry, the bags you gave me, just to find out where you were. Please, just talk to me." She reached for me, but I stepped away. I used to hate seeing her cry. It would make me feel guilty, like I had failed her. Now all I felt was annoyance. I helped Chloe into my car and got in myself. Anna, choking on her sobs, ran after the car. In the rearview mirror, I noticed she was limping, but she wasn't my wife anymore. It wasn't my problem. Chloe looked at me playfully. "Boss, I think this counts as a workplace hazard. My bonus this month should be doubled, right?" She was trying to lighten the mood. I played along with a weak smile. "Deal. Performance has been great this month anyway. Double bonuses for sure." But the thought of Anna finding me left a lingering sense of dread. Not wanting her to corner me at the office again, and not wanting to cause any more trouble for Chloe, I changed my schedule and spent the next few weeks traveling with Chloe to different states for business. When we finally had to return to the office, Anna was still there, waiting. Her persistence was now both irritating and frightening. She blocked my way, her eyes wild. "You haven't even been to the office for weeks. Where were you shacking up with that woman?" I pried her fingers off my arm one by one. "We are not together anymore. You have no right to ask me that." Her expression turned pleading. "No, it's not like that. You used to love me so much, remember? You love me." I laughed, the sound sharp and humorless. "Oh, I remember. I remember being a pathetic fool, in love with a woman who was in love with my brother, willingly wearing a crown of thorns. Thankfully, a man only has to be a fool once. I also remember you and my brother in my office, how happy you sounded when you screamed his name, how you said you love him most. So tell me, why on earth would I want a woman like you back?" The color drained from her face. Her lips trembled, but no words came out. I took a step back. "So, if you have any sense of shame left, how dare you keep chasing me, telling me you're sorry?" Anna stood hunched over, defeated. She didn't follow me this time. For several days, she didn't show up. I thought my words had finally gotten through to her, that she had given up and left. But then one morning, Chloe didn't come to work. She hadn't called in sick or requested time off, which was completely out of character for her. Chloe was the most dedicated employee I had, always the first one in. A sense of unease crept over me. I immediately called her boyfriend, who told me she had left for work at her usual time. Thinking of Anna's obsessive behavior and her sudden disappearance, the unease exploded into full-blown panic. I called the police and reported a kidnapping. The NYPD was efficient. They pulled surveillance footage from her entire route to work and discovered that she had been forced into a car. Guilt and fear threatened to consume me. My gut told me Anna was behind this. The trail led to a motel in Queens. Sure enough, we found Anna sitting at the front desk. I grabbed her wrist, my grip like iron. "Where's Chloe? What did you do to her?" Anna smiled a strange, chilling smile. "That woman? You've only known her for a short time, and you're this worried about her?" I couldn't hold back any longer. I slapped her across the face. Tears welled up in her eyes. "You hit me. You hit me for her." But she refused to say where Chloe was. The police and I had a search room by room. We finally found her in one of the rooms. She was in a daze, barely conscious, clutching a piece of broken glass and swinging it wildly at anyone who came near. I saw that her clothes were intact and felt a wave of relief. Otherwise, I don't know how I would have ever faced her or her boyfriend. After we got her downstairs, I couldn't stop myself from slapping Anna again. Any lingering affection I had for the woman she once was had been shattered into a million pieces. Anna, you're a woman. How could you do this to another woman? She laughed, a hysterical sound that ended in a sob. You wouldn't even look at me anymore. You wanted to divorce me all because of what happened with your brother in the office, right? Well, what about other women? I bet you'd care about that. I gritted my teeth. She has a boyfriend. We're just colleagues. She covered her face, her voice choked with anguish. Yes, I'm crazy. I went crazy the moment I realized I had lost the one person in the world who might have truly loved me. Noah, tell me, why were you so good to me back then, only to throw me away? After you, where am I supposed to find someone who will ever treat me like that again? I didn't want to look at her anymore. She was pathetic. It was as if everything was my fault. Chloe's boyfriend and I took her to the hospital. I felt sick with guilt for dragging an innocent person into my mess. Thankfully, she had only been drugged, and her condition wasn't serious. When Chloe woke up, I apologized profusely. I'm so sorry. That woman is my ex-wife. We divorced recently. I think she was trying to get me back and did a lot of crazy things. You have every right to be angry with me. I'll give you any compensation you want. Even if you don't want to work for me anymore, I completely understand. Whatever you need, just ask. Chloe's boyfriend glared at me, and I didn't blame him. I stood there and took his anger. But Chloe was a genuinely good person. She told me it wasn't my fault, but I couldn't accept that. I increased her profit-sharing percentage in the company as a form of compensation. The police took Anna into custody, but she was uncooperative. They called me. The suspect is not cooperating. She's attempted suicide several times in her cell. She says she'll only talk to you. I sighed in frustration and agreed to go. Resolving this was the least I could do for Chloe. Some wounds can't be healed with money. At the police station, Anna looked mentally unwell. When she saw me, her eyes lit up with a manic joy, quickly followed by a look of grievance. Noah, what took you so long? I didn't answer. She pointed her leg. Do you know why I limp? After I smashed your brother's head in, your father couldn't do much to me. An affair between a brother and his sister-in-law is a scandal he wanted to bury. So he just threw me out. But I didn't want to leave. If I left, it would be harder to find you. So I refused to go. Your father had his men beat me with a thick stick. She used her hands to show me how thick the stick was, as if she were a child telling on a bully. But I was no longer the man who would fight her battles. Anna, I don't care about any of that. I don't care what happened to you. Her expression crumpled in sorrow. How can we go back to how things were? We could have been so happy together. I looked at her calmly, my heart empty of any emotion. There was a time when all you had to do was nod, and we would have had that chance. But a person's love is finite. You chipped away at it, bit by bit, until there was nothing left. From the moment you left me on that island, to when you slandered me, to when you lied under oath, you destroyed it all. I almost died because of you. I know everything you did for Ethan. A man should be forgiving, but with you, that's something I can never move past. The best thing you can do is die somewhere far away and never bother me again. You had your chance, and you wasted it. To be honest, seeing you cry now just makes me feel sick. I'm begging you. Can you please just acknowledge what you've done wrong? She covered her face, and her shoulders began to shake. Even if I know I'm wrong now, it's too late, isn't it? I nodded. Then I turned to the police and told them I'd done all I could. As I walked out of the police station, my phone rang. It was the police. Anna had confessed to everything. I looked up at the sun and sighed. If only everyone could learn to cherish the person right in front of them, how much better the world would be.